What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the live stream. It's been a week. It's been a very busy week. So just a couple, you know what? Because you guys know how anal I am about this stuff. We're gonna scoot myself over just a little bit. Ooh, look at that. We'll center ourselves up a little bit better. I know. It's one of those silly things that I get all anal about and you guys really don't care. I care though. I care. Anyway, couple housekeeping things because I never talk about this at all with you guys. First of all, my merchandise. I never talk about merchandise, but I'm going to talk about merchandise. Head over to dieselandironproductions.com. You will see the store there on the left-hand side. That is where you can purchase all sorts of shirts. I actually have some new shirt designs that I haven't even got in yet. Mostly because I've been too lazy to actually get online and order them. So I can't even call you guys out on not ordering merchandise because I am too lazy to do it too. But check out the merchandise if you want some, lovely hats, some shirts. I have hoodies. I have yoga pants for guys like Brandon and Nick. I'm sure they would love the yoga pants. But honestly, we've got some really good stuff in the store. That's item number one. Item number two is Sweat and Grime. So if you missed it last night, we actually did a live stream of the Sweat and Grime podcast. I think we're now 18 episodes deep that we have recorded, and I really feel like we're hitting our stride. I've actually just this evening was talking with a guy that is an acoustic engineer, so he actually helps develop the speakers and the microphones that go into noise cancellation in cars, whether it's engine noise or road noise. And so we're talking about getting him on. So we've got some really interesting guests on the podcast, and it's really starting to hum along. So if you don't subscribe already, check it out on iTunes, on Spotify, any podcasting platform out there. You should be able to search Sweat and Grime. Ooh, excuse me, and we're already starting with the burps from the drinks. Sorry, guys. Anyway, and we should pop right up as Sweat and Grime. So check that out. And then, yes, let me look at the calendar really quick. Now that I think about it, I do want to look at the calendar before we go any further to see if we're going to go live next weekend, because I can't remember exactly where we're at, because this year is honestly coming to a close way quicker than I was expecting. It feels like someone is just all the way to the floor with the accelerator pedal. And so let's see here. So next weekend we will go live, and then we're going to take off 2 weeks for New Year's and holidays, or Christmas and New Year's. That's what I'm talking about. Anyway, yeah, that's it. How are you guys doing? Good to have you on the live stream. I appreciate you showing up, and I love it that we've already got a stack of comments. That always pumps me up. So Richard, as always, man, you are tried and true, buddy. Between this and Sweat and Grime, you're pretty much always the first one down, and I appreciate that. I appreciate you, brother. Everything is going good. We did an afternoon hike with the kids, with their kind of homeschool group. We did this lantern hike that the moms put on, where everyone had a little jar with a little tea candle in it. It was the LED ones, not fire. We're not giving those children fire to play with. Absolutely not. Anyway, we did the hike, and now we're home, and it's been a good weekend. So how are you doing? We got something dump trucks. I'm not going to try to read that, but hello, and I appreciate you being here because I haven't seen your name before. Ryan, what's going on? Officially got laid off. I'm sorry to hear that, unless you wanted the layoff, because I always around this time for sure was ready for the layoff. If I made it much past the beginning of November, I wanted the layoff. So I'm hoping that's the boat you're in. Otherwise, I'm sorry to hear about your layoff. But yes, it's been some disgusting weather the last couple weeks. We had 50, 60 mile an hour wind gusts all day yesterday. That was quite exciting. Was it yesterday or the day before? I think it was yesterday. So anyway, let's see here. Matt got the beer and popcorn. That's what I'm talking about. Which, Matt, I totally forgot, brother. I'm sorry. We were gonna try to do the go live together, and I totally dropped the ball on that. It's been a crazy week. We had the podcast last night. We had a crap load of stuff lined up for today, so I do apologize, Matt. Let's maybe next weekend, the last one we do before Christmas, let's try to do a joint live stream. And if you don't hear from me this week, remind me, because I legitimately forgot. I do genuinely apologize about that. So, but it's good to see you. I'm glad you're hanging out. And I did skip Bobby. Bobby Gematria. Did I pronounce that right? What's going on, man? Appreciate you hanging out. Bacon, good to see you. Dozer Dennis, Good to see you, man. We haven't seen Dozer Dennis since what, guys? Probably June, July. It's been a while. It's good to have you back, Dennis. And I apologize. I have not been keeping up on your channel because it has been a crazy year. How are things going in the world of Dozer Dennis? Tell us a little bit about what you got going on. And by the way, guys, if you haven't checked out Dozer Dennis's channel, absolutely go subscribe to him. He's got some really good stuff. And he's got his hands in all sorts of different projects. So he's a really interesting one to follow. So good to see ya. Hey, it's Albert, Soldier of Dirt. So if you guys didn't hear the podcast last night that was live streamed here on the Diesel and Iron channel, Soldier of Dirt 81 is, that's Albert. And he is from San Antonio, Texas. He runs a track loader, which, as all of you know, is near and dear to my heart. And so that is why I have followed Soldier of Dirt forever. We actually interviewed him, and what was it, an hour and a half, Albert? I think we went. Like, it was a solid, long podcast because we were just really flowing with the conversation. It was a really fun time. So glad to see you're here for the live stream, brother. Sorry, I can't talk. Bacon, as a temporary trucker, yogurt pants. My God, Brian. Whew. We're gonna try to get this all out right now. Let's try it again. As a temporary trucker, yoga pants sound like a good idea. Well, Bacon, I've got some yoga pants with a sweet Diesel and Iron, like right down the side of the leg. So as you, in fact, let's do it on the left-hand side. So as you open the truck door, everyone's going to be able to see Diesel and Iron clear as day. You're going to look ultra sexy in one of my pairs of Diesel and Iron yoga pants. And I will say, you will have to watch out for Brandon Culpepper when he shows up in here because he might get aroused seeing you in those pants. Just calling it how it is. So, got to watch the podcast live yesterday. First one I've been able to listen to and definitely enjoyed it. Hey, that's awesome to hear, Ryan. I'm glad. Subscribe to us on any of the podcasting platforms and we will ride around in your pocket. And that doesn't sound uncomfortable or awkward at all, does it? Just watched for the first time last night. I'm glad that you guys were able to like tune in for the podcast. That's nice. Appreciate it. Yes, Albert, it was awesome. We had a lot of fun. Jackson, what's happening? Good to see you, my man. Jackson was actually on the podcast, earlier this week, like Wednesday? And just so you guys know, as with all of my Diesel and Iron stuff, Sweat and Grime, we also have a queue running. So these guys were just on the podcast. I think Jackson is going to drop the week of Christmas or the week of New Year's, and then Albert will be the week after that. So we've got 2 or 3 weeks here where you're gonna, kind of have to wait for it. But you know what they say? You have to wait for good things. All things require patience. It's like a fine wine. Both Jackson and Albert's interviews will just slowly, all of the flavors will mesh together as you guys wait. And by the time you enjoy it, it's just going to be so smooth. So it is what it is, guys. Jake, the green-eyed snake, what's happening? Thanks for coming and hanging out. I have not seen you in here before. Bacon, probably won't make it down to Tejas for the group dig, but hope y'all have a good time. If it's in Minnesota, I'm probably in, but I understand why Texas makes more sense. Well, Bacon, you're in luck because we're not doing it this year. So it's going to be next winter if we do that. We're gonna see what happens. I will keep you posted. If we're gonna do this next year, if we really do go forward with this, there will be lots of big announcements. There's gonna be a sign up, like it's gonna be an official, legitimate deal. You're gonna know when it happens. It's not gonna be something we just kind of spring on everybody. So there's a lot of research and homework that needs to go into that I haven't even started because I've been busy. So hopefully after the New Year's, I can take some time to research that. Ann Gilmore, I don't think you're a real person because that sort of comment was going crazy through last night's podcast episode. I'm fairly confident that is a bot of some sort, but I'm glad to see it has a female name because we need more females in the trades, even if they are robots. I choked on my own joke. Oh my gosh. Oh. All right, back to it. Ryan, no. Ryan, wait. It's not your turn. Damn it. Okay. Nick, what's happening? How is the Great White North with all your freezing rain that we were talking about? because down here, so we lucked out this week. Just north of us, they got hammered with winter storms. Just south of us, they got hammered with tornadoes. Kentucky, I don't even know if Kentucky exists anymore from what I've been reading in the news. I think it just got blown away. But Michigan, you know, kind of central Michigan, we just got rain and then like 50 to 60 mile an hour winds, which was enjoyable in its own right. But it wasn't tornadoes and it wasn't winter weather, so I'm okay with that. Jim Jennings, hello from Tennessee. Jim, it's been a long time. You've been in here before, but I'm trying to think of when the last one was that you logged in for. That was back in the summer, if I remember right. But yeah, it's good to have you back, my man. Ryan, don't mind being laid off, going to get bored, but looking for my next job next spring. Also, you're in Top Chat. Thank you, Ryan, for catching that. Yes, I am in Top Chat. My God, I'm sorry if I've ignored you already, people. Okay, we are officially in Everybody is Important mode. We can call it Millennial mode if you want, because everyone matters. We will hand out individual trophies at the end of the live stream here so that you all feel important and welcome. I'm just kidding, guys. It makes me look like an a-hole if I ignore you guys, and that's what happens if I am in Top Chat. So, Ryan, genuinely, thank you for catching that. Bobby Gematria, yes, freaking nailed it. Absolutely. Turner G, hi from Nebraska. Where at in Nebraska? Because my folks were in Lincoln for a long time, and while I will not say Nebraska is my favorite state, but Lincoln was a really nice area, and I do miss the fact that my parents lived in Lincoln. So let us know where you're at in Nebraska. Which, Turner, now that I think about it, Turner, you've been in here, and I believe I've asked you that the exact same question before, but I don't remember. 1.5 hours, it was awesome. Yes, 1.5 hours of straight Albert. I mean, it was amazing. It was a good episode. We all genuinely enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. Matt, no worries about the live stream. I've been going nonstop, fixing my car, mother-in-law's car, building a... Oh, my goodness, you got your plate full. Well, let me know if you are free next weekend, brother, and we will try to do the joint live stream like we've been planning for like a month now. So, Ben Maybach. Yes, Maybach? I'm assuming Maybach. The t-shirt looks good. Might need a couple. You know, Ben, first of all, I appreciate it. I put my heart and soul into designing this shirt. And by designing, I mean slapping my logo or my name straight across the front of the shirt right at nipple level. Because that actually is a great conversation starter for the ladies. Hey, I'm up here. But honestly, I know where you can pick some up. Head over to dieselandironproductions.com and click over on the left-hand side to the store, and you too can wear Diesel and Iron across your nipples. There it is. There's my sales pitch. But thank you, Ben. I appreciate it. Jackson, confirming Wednesday. It was Wednesday we did the podcast, whatever I'm trying to say. I'm sorry, guys. My brain is fried. It generally is. I know I say that almost every live stream, but it's because I chose to do this on Sunday night at 7:30 p.m., which means we all are ready for bed. We want to go to sleep and prepare for Monday. But instead, I decided to put myself in the spotlight and try to sit here and be witty for an hour and a half for you guys. It is what it is. You get the flubs, you get it all, because it's live, baby. No, it's all improvisation. There's no script here. Whatever happens, happens. So, yeah. Next snowstorm, I'll try to listen to a couple of your podcasts if the cell phone will shut up. Nick, really? Like, that's the support I'm getting from you? We've been doing this for 2 months now, and you're just now like, oh, yeah, I'll give it a try. What a jerk. What a freaking jerk. My God. You're about as supportive as my wife on this one. She hasn't listened to a single podcast yet, and I'm married to her. It's rough. It's brutal. Ben, starting a new job on the Komatsu D51PX soon. That's a freaking awesome dozer. I am a huge fan. I'm very excited and slightly jealous of your new position, Ben. Congratulations on that. That's awesome. That's right, Jackson. The smooth, silky, velvety, ooh, that's a good word, velvety tones of Jackson Alonso. But the way that rolls off the tongue almost makes it sound like you should be headlining a jazz club. The velvety tones of Jackson Alonso, coming to you the week of Christmas or New Year's, depending on when I scheduled it. And I don't know offhand when I scheduled it. So, yes. Finally caught a live stream. Fellow Michigander from the west side, best side. I will agree with you, even though I'm not on the west side. It is the best side. Excuse me, pardon me. Carbonated drink tonight, guys. I'm going to be burping and you're just all going to have to deal with it. I apologize. It is what it is. But yes, with the exception of the amount of snowfall you get over there, it is the best side. Are you in the Grand Rapids area or where are you at? I do really like that area. It's beautiful over there. I would move there if it wasn't for the copious amounts of snow you guys get. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Jake, love the podcast as well. Keep up the kick-ass work. I appreciate it, Jake. Honestly, we are getting such positive feedback on the podcast, and like all we did was say we like having these conversations, let's record them, and it turns out a lot of people are enjoying them. So I really appreciate the positive feedback. I really do. Andrew Ruggiero, what's happening? And to answer your question, my fine sir, we are sipping on this filthy looking water here. Basically it's a gin and tonic. It's gin, we have lime tonic water, but because lime tonic water doesn't actually have like the citrusy sweet of lime, I have also added in some legit lime juice, and it makes for a nice like zesty, like it's a really nice easy drinking drink. But unfortunately, because it is tonic water, you're gonna listen to me burp all night, and I apologize. But Andrew, it is good to see you, and thank you for asking. I appreciate it. Jonathan, couldn't tune into the podcast, plan to check it out later. Do it. And then this is for all of you guys. Legitimately, I'm gonna ask you a favor. I don't do this very often, but if you are on Apple or iTunes, legitimately, will you please run over super quick, give us a rating and a quick review. Literally, like, these guys are dope. Like, that's all you have to write. These guys are dope. Just give us a review, because that actually helps us more than anything else when it comes to Apple promoting us, is having reviews and ratings. So that would be a tremendous help from all of you guys. I would greatly appreciate it. But yeah, let me know what you think outside of Apple. You know, give me some feedback in the comments here next week and let me know what you think. The Great White North is getting expensive with all the salt. We need snow, not rain. Yes. This has been such a weird year. I thought for sure, especially with all of the wet fall that we've had, it's really been a wet year overall. I thought for sure we'd have a foot or two of snow on the ground already, and we haven't gotten, I think here in central Michigan, we got maybe 3 inches so far. One of them was about 3 inches, one of them was like 1.5 inches. And outside of that, it's all just kind of been sleet and nasty rain. So it's been a weird year. We'll see. Let's see here. Glad you were able, this is Albert here, Soldier of Dirt. Glad you were also able to get in contact with a potential future guest that is a heavy equipment field mechanic. Yes, so you've been going back and forth with Matt. I don't know if he's been clear on that, but he is running, which by the way, we just started a Sweat and Grime Facebook and Instagram page. So you guys can check that out. But you've been going back and forth with Matt, and he has been communicating with us. That's super exciting, that you got a field tech that's willing to be on the show. We're very excited to talk with him. Matt, maybe we can do a video and audio check the day before. 100%, brother. I agree with you 100%, although I feel like we're going to be a little more successful on this one because we're not doing it, you know, even if it's an hour before, it's not 15 minutes beforehand, so... Ryan, we don't need a repeat of what happens with Shane where it took 3 weeks of trying to get the live stream to work. I was not familiar he was having technical issues, so I'm curious what was going on there. When was this? Was this a while back or was this recent? I'm curious on that one. Matt, Nick, you had one job. Yep, that's right. Turner, yes, you have. I've been busy and haven't had time to get on, but I'm in South Central, hour and a half from me. That's right. I do remember, Turner. That's right. Yes, I'm with you now. Yeah, I'm just gonna be honest with you. I talked to so many effing people between this and the dirt and Sweat and Grime, and just I'm probably gonna ask you that question at least 4 more times, and every time I'm gonna be really excited because it's like, Nebraska? I don't know anyone from Nebraska. I'm sorry. I apologize. Just be excited for me and with me, and we'll all be okay. Let's see here. Ryan, ha ha ha. Did you like the enthusiasm I put into that as I read it? Now we just need Nick to get into a JCB backhoe, then he'll forever be tortured. Oh, JCBs, man. They're the bane of my existence, and they plague every single one of these live streams. It ultimately doesn't matter where we're at, we're just eventually going to devolve into shitting on backhoes and JCB. It's just, it is what it is. I've accepted it for what it is. And then I know that throughout the week I'm going to get like 4 or 5 JCB backhoe pictures texted to me, or Instagram message to me from various members of the community right there. So it is what it is. Nick, I prefer listening to music while I work. Man, Nick, if you're gonna insult somebody, at least learn how to spell, goddammit. Come on. While I work, instead of your beautiful voice. Nick, that's only because you haven't found a podcast that is as engaging as Sweat and Grime. And Sweat and Grime not only challenges your mind, but we also supplement it with various curse words and fart jokes and things of that nature where we discuss poop. So we can really, we're going to take your cab experience to the next level when you start to tune into Sweat and Grime. So join us this week as we release on Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I feel like every time I do one of those, I need one of those little, like, I can smile and you have the little twinkle that shines on your tooth. I feel like that would really be appropriate, but I have no idea how I would set that up where I can push a button and it would do it. Let's see here, Ryan. It will be an assault on the senses. Are you talking about the podcast? The podcast isn't an assault on the senses. It's beautiful and soothing, and if it didn't have all the swear words, I would let my children listen to it, but I'm not that kind of a parent that will let them listen to me swear as much as I do. Anyway, Jake, Zealand area, graduated from Grand Haven. Oh, okay. That's a beautiful area down there, and I have lusted over living in that area of Michigan for a long time. But again, you guys get so much effing snow, it's almost not worth it. Let's see here. Boom, boom, boom. Jackson, Brian, I followed Rick's Instagram page. Does Matt by chance have an Instagram page to follow? I don't think he's got a personal one, but we officially started a Sweat and Grime Instagram page last night. Excuse me, my goodness. How disgusting and piggish of me. So if you do go to Instagram right now and search for Sweat and Grime, we should pop right up. Hopefully it won't snow during, well, let's see here. We got 20 centimeters. Nick, I'm just going to stop you right now. No one knows what an effing centimeter is, okay? We need it in freedom units, and we need it now, man. Freedom units. 20 centimeters. Is that like a 1.5 feet? I don't know, because I'm an American. I don't know what centimeters are, but you got 20 of them. This week, it's real warm, and at the end of the week after, or the week after, we should get a couple snow events. Hopefully it won't snow during Christmas. Well, that's the opposite of what my wife and children want. They want it to snow in Christmas. So now you're pitting me against you or my children and my wife. So Nick, really honestly, what side am I expected to take here? You drink Pink Whitney. I can't abandon my wife and children for a man who drinks Pink Whitney. If you can be called a man. Oh, burn, Nick. Whew, boy, that one. We're gonna melt your snow just with the burn off of that comment. Jake, tough year for those in the landscaping lawn care business who rely on the snow to avoid layoffs. Yeah, and again, the weirdness of the year. Like, I fully expected to have a couple feet of snow by now, and the snow has just not hit, so I don't know. SDK, what's happening? It's been a little while, right? I'm confident you've been in here at some point before, but I can't remember when. Shame Problems was when you were trying to get them on your, oh, that's right. Yeah, I do vaguely remember that. It did take a couple weeks now that I think about it. But we've got all of those kinks ironed out. I know exactly how it works now. Because it seems like one of the weeks we had an audio issue, if I remember right. I don't remember. I don't remember. Let's see here. Boom. Where the hell is Shane? Yeah, I'm sure he'll be in here later. He typically pops in a little bit later because he's over on the West Coast, and so it's like, I don't know, 2 o'clock in the afternoon there. I'm kidding, guys. I know how time zones work. It was a joke. Jeez, get off my back. Wow. SDK, anyone know any good companies hiring around Louisiana? I don't. but you know, someone else might. Anybody out there know anything about Louisiana? Matt, are you talking about me? If so, no, I don't have an Instagram. I think he's talking about Matt Totten. Matt Mother Bleep and Totten from the podcast. I can't say it here because, you know, I don't know. I don't know if they would do anything if I swore in here to that extent. I just don't want to. I don't want to play with fire. Nick, I'm French. Give me a break. Being French is not an excuse. I'm the same response I have to my children when they try to use some ridiculous reason for doing the things that they do. It's not an excuse. You know that you're in America chat and we talk America units. Come on, Nick. Come on. You're welcome for the JCB video, Brian. I thought you liked JCB skid steer backhoe. You know, I don't have words. I really don't. JCB is just always going to be a thorn in my side. Wouldn't it be ironic if JCB came along and offered to sponsor Diesel and Iron or Sweat and Grime? Like, this live stream is brought to you by JCB backhoes, the best backhoes in the industry. Oh, the irony. It would be amazing. I think more people would actually tune in. I think it would really work to JCB's benefit because more people would tune in to hear me hate on JCB and then pitch JCB every week. It makes me laugh just thinking about it. Anyway, I don't wish JCB. Yep, there it is, Turner. Hated it. Everybody hates it. No one actually likes JCB. It's just one of those things where they're like, well, we'll pay people to say that they're good to just cause... And we'll pay people to go into Brian's live stream to give him crap about JCB. That's really what's happening here. Jonathan, might have a chance to get into the industry with a company, but after the shovel, old iron dozer is what follows and kind of makes me nervous since old iron is not as easy to learn than with the new. So there's two ways to look at that, Jonathan. You can be a little intimidated and scared because it is more difficult than the old or the new iron. But honestly, the way to look at it, in my opinion, is go struggle on the old stuff a little bit. And if you can run that stuff, anything that's newer is going to be a breeze. Like, you're going to be a true operator if you're able to run the old stuff. So I would just look at that as you picked the bigger mountain to climb instead of starting off down here at the little mountain, and then go for it and get your ass to the top of that mountain. Because I will be jealous of your skill set if you can run one of those old pieces of iron. I would love to go dink around with one of those and actually learn how to run it. Nick, saw JCB teleskid with the boom on the side. The thing looks sick. Don't know if they're any good. They're good if you're a farmer and if you don't need to do super heavy duty production work. Yeah, they're good little machines. Also, if you wear a skirt and you don't want to be... You don't want to show your panties when you're bending over to get in a skid the regular way that a man does, then absolutely a JCB skid with the side entry so that you can, lift one leg up over the... Are you going to sit side saddling your skid steer? I guess is what I'm really getting at. Because, Nick, if you're going to sit side saddling your skid steer, the JCB is for you, brother. I'm just kidding. That was horrendously sexist, and I apologize to my female audience members. I do. I really don't mean any of this. It's really... I'm a terrible person. I'm sorry. LeBaron Finch, just started my channel. I run crawlers and anything that moves dirt. Love your channel from Fort Hood, Texas. Well, LeBaron, we'll have to get together at some point. So if you guys want to check out LeBaron's channel, we'll have to get together at some point because my folks actually live in Salado, which is right around the corner from you. I grew up around the Fort Hood area because my grandfather was career Army. I'm very well versed in that area. So next time I'm down there, I will try to remember. So stay in touch and maybe we can meet up and do a collaborative video and drive some traffic your way, brother. And by the way, thank you for hanging out on the live stream. Nick, shut up with your freedom units and look it up. Wow. Wow. Nick, I feel like it somehow got personal now. And I'm going to double down. But not in this moment because I can't think of a witty insult to throw your way. So I guess you win this one, damn it. And I'll just leave it at that. Sorry, I noticed I'm getting a little tall here. So, I had to lower my chair. Let's see here. So 20 centimeters is roughly 8 inches. Oh, measurement we're all familiar with here, aren't we? Yes. 8 inches. Yes. America. SDK. That's not what he meant by that, but yes, America. Hell yeah. 8 inches, baby. I'm terrible. I'm sorry. 30 centimeters per 1 foot. Roughly 30 centimeters per 1 foot. I will never remember that. But all right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for everyone, helping me out on that one. Yeah, when you're in the loader and all the family is together, it sucks. Yeah, I 100% agree, Nick. That does suck. And for your sake, I do hope it does not snow on Christmas, because that absolutely does suck. Bobby, thank you for backing me up on the burn. That will certainly help my ego. Let's see here. Last week trying to go to work for Turner Mining. Yeah, keep us posted on that, SDK. I'm curious to see what happens there and if you get in. Jonathan, yes. Nick and I from the get-go have always given each other shit, and it's all in jest. We actually talk back and forth on Instagram all the time, and we're actually buddies. It's not anything personal. We just we enjoy razzing each other, so it's all good. In fact, I don't think there's anyone in here that I actually don't get along with. We just give each other a hard time. It's part of the dynamic. Frank, hey Frank, digging okay. If you guys want a solid channel to go watch an expert operator, go check out Digging Okay. Glad you made it out, Frank. It's good to see, and early too. Like last week you got in right before we shut this baby down. I'm glad to see you're here kind of towards the get-go, so we can razz you about your backhoe a little bit. Ryan, my cousin was suggesting that I could plow snow for someone in the winter. I have no intentions on doing that. I'll find something else to do. Yes, my sentiments exactly. I will do anything other than shovel snow. Which, by the way, Rick and I had this idea that we were going to kind of wind down the dirt company here locally, and we were going to start kind of using YouTube as a way to pitch consulting services, where he and I would actually travel around and help companies that are trying to kind of step up to the next tier of job, but don't necessarily have the knowledge or the manpower to do so. So we had it under the, we had it in our mind that we were going to start to taper down here. We actually just had 2 builders contact us that do multi-million-dollar homes, anywhere from 5 to 10,000 square foot basements. One of them wants to do 19 of them next year. Another one, I'm not sure how many he's wanting. So it's looking like I will be working the second half of this winter in the cold, and so you guys will get to enjoy the lovely vlogs where I sit and bitch about shoveling tracks out in the nasty muck. We'll see what happens, but it's looking like that might be a real scenario. So luckily I get to stay out of snow plowing. Unfortunately, I don't get to sit at home during the winter, which is my favorite thing in the world. If you're in Louisiana, you need to go work offshore. Yes, I know I can't spell. It's all right, Andrew. You're in the dirt world. We all suffer from an inability to spell and use big words. You're in good company here. And you even said so in the second half of your comment that I didn't even read. Yes, you wouldn't be a construction worker if you could spell good. Jake, there are countries that use the metric system and countries that have been to the moon. America. I'm fairly confident that most of the NASA scientists probably use the metric system because trying to calculate the distance to the moon in bananas and then converting it over to teacups and tablespoons is very complicated math, and metric just makes more sense. So that's just a guess. Let's see here. Jonathan, they're in love. Yes, Matt, we are in love, deeply in love. I'm very affectionate towards Nick, and that's why he's my sugar daddy. And I don't have an OnlyFans. Here's the truth: I don't have an OnlyFans because Nick has agreed to pay my bills if I just show him dirty pictures. So it works out. I feel like it works out in both of our favor. Yes, exactly, Jonathan. I struggle every time you have to say it. It's so far beyond the truth. I struggle. Yeah, Brandon is a whole, you know, Brandon, he has snakes, guys. Like, that's Brandon in a nutshell. He's just, I love Brandon. I do. I am very glad that Brandon is in my life in the supportive way that he is. But he owns snakes, guys. That's just, snake owners are odd people. He's a weirdo. And he knows I call him a weirdo because I call him a weirdo on Instagram all the time. Again, it's all in jest. He's a good guy. Let's see here. SDK, just wanted to see if any other operators knew where something was at instead of a Google ad. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have a lot of Louisiana people in here, and I think it's because most of them don't know how to use a computer. Boom! Smoke Louisiana. Man, I'm dropping bombs tonight. I'm just kidding. If you're from Louisiana, I'm sorry, SDK, looking at you. 27 D-backs. When it comes to telehandlers, JCBs are my favorites. 510 56 is awesome to run. You know, I will say this, I have not run their telehandler equipment. I'm just talking about their dirt equipment. So I will reserve judgment on the telehandlers for now. We will see. Hey Nick, thanks for hanging out, man. I hope I didn't miss you already and you've already taken off, but I hope you have a good week, man. And I legitimately do hope it does not snow over Christmas for you. And hopefully you're here next weekend so I can say Merry Christmas to you. But if not, early Merry Christmas. Bacon, old stuff is fun. It's just going to beat you up if you have to run it for a long time. Yeah, absolutely. So getting back into like a Case 850, that's not even an old piece of equipment, but Case is one of the last dozers that has not converted their smaller dozers over to EH controls. It's still pilot controls. You run one of those for a half day and I forgot how much your wrist is sore. It's, you know, it's like being back in middle school, if you know what I mean. I don't know many more. But yes, it is. The old equipment will work your body for sure. Yeah, and Frank just summed it up. You're going to learn to be a better operator on the old stuff because you don't have all of these bells and whistles to kind of make it easier for you. So ultimately you will be a much better operator if you can run the old equipment, and then when you finally do move on to the new equipment, it's going to be easy. Can't confirm. How's it going? Hey, that Johnny boy, I don't know that I've seen you in here before, but welcome to the live stream. Let's see here. Oh, Frank, you know Albert. That's awesome. Let's see here. Frank, back and forth with Albert. See, now we're getting to the point where you guys have these side conversations going, which I'm great with. I love it. Oh, and Frank fires back. Frank fires back that his backhoe will eat my Mini for breakfast. I'm telling you guys, if we end up doing this get together, we're going to do it in Dallas because that's within driving distance with Frank. And Frank's going to have to bring his backhoe down, and we're going to finally have to do this dig off. It's just, the tension is building. Every live stream, the tension builds. Which, by the way, if you guys don't follow Frank on Instagram, Frank is constantly taking pop shots at me. So what happens? Let's clear the air here, Frank. Frank comes on here and acts like a giant victim. He acts like we're just in here ragging on him in his backhoe. But what you guys don't know, unless you follow him on Instagram, is that Frank is constantly taking pop shots at me on Instagram with these little hashtag, you know, backhoes rule, minis drool stuff. And he will tag me in it. So don't let Frank fool you guys. He's not a victim in this situation. In fact, I dare say he is the instigator half of the time. So one of these days we're going to do our dig off as the tension slowly builds. Excuse me, pardon me. Whew. Oh, Ryan, yeah, nope, he's coming. Oh, and Frank's got a video coming out digging with a Mini. It's probably, I can imagine it now, it's Frank sitting in a Mini, super cramped, and just yelling the whole time because he hates the machine so much. I'm actually looking forward to that. Albert, you better be careful with that. I'm telling you right now, you better be careful with that offer because I will 100% take you up on that. And I don't want to get you fired if your employer doesn't know about it. But I want to run a track loader so effing bad. We will make a special trip for that one. Oh, Frank is on fire tonight. Oh, look at the pop shots. I love it. I love it. He came in here with some sass tonight. Yeah, Bobby, smash the like button, baby. Smash it. And if you're not a subscriber, absolutely make sure you subscribe to this and go subscribe to Sweat and Grime, because you need something to listen to in your cab tomorrow. And that's why we made Sweat and Grime, is to give you something outside of the live stream. Like, so that's legit. I think I've talked about it in here, but the big instigator for me actually going and doing the podcast was 100% you guys. I had a bunch of you guys talk about how you would listen to the live stream the following day in the cab, and that it was really entertaining. But one of the things that we don't do here is it's not really done in a way that's like a podcast. Like, I'm not talking about a subject, I don't have guests on. This is literally me interacting with you guys, and if someone is just tuning into this that doesn't know all of the dynamics at play here, it doesn't make any sense. And so you guys are the reason the podcast exists, and you're the reason we put it together. So I really should be thanking you guys for Sweat and Grime going the way that it is. Like, legitimately, it's cool the way all of this has come together. I will say that all of this has just, I've stumbled my way through all of this, and with the help of you guys as a community, we've kind of made this happen. So it's really exciting stuff. Jackson, Brian, since being in the construction industry, have you ever had to do flagging? And if you've done flagging, do you ever just get bored and wish you could be in the seat of a machine? Yes, 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 and yes. So when I was down in Texas, I actually we had a couple flaggers that called in one day. And so, I don't know, I've probably got 3 or 4 days of flagging under my belt, just filling in here and there. And at first it was kind of nice just to have a change of pace, because, you know, you sit in the cab all day, you don't actually get to be outside that much. And so it was a nice change of pace to get out of the cab and actually be outside. And that lasted for about 45 minutes. And then I was bored out of my effing mind. And so flagging is terrible. I don't know how guys flag all day long, because it's not like you can sit there and listen to a podcast or something, because you've got to be on the radios talking to the other flagger. You've got to be really aware of what's going on. I couldn't do it. It would drive me absolutely insane. And yes, every single time a truck or a loader or an excavator would go by, you're just like, oh, that's what I could be doing. But instead, I'm standing here waiting for some jackass who's talking on his phone to stop before I have to jump out in front of his car. So, because that's the other thing too, is the job I was flagging on, we had Cat 740, or no, it wasn't 740s. It was, I don't remember the actual model, but the rigid frame trucks that you see in the picture for the countdown timer for the live stream, we had those trucks. Those are 40-ton haul trucks. Those were flying at about 45 miles an hour on this job site. And so if someone wasn't paying attention and drove onto the job site when one of these trucks was going by, you would have a very flat car with a very dead person in it. So that was another reason you couldn't do anything other than pay attention to flagging, because people would legitimately die if you weren't paying attention. So Ryan, I'll never stop trying. Brian, my God, Brian, mouth just fell to mush right there. I'll never stop trying to bring you over to the dark side, Frank. Ryan, we're all in the same boat. If we all collectively pull strong enough, maybe we can convince Frank, but probably not. Bacon, how do you feel about a skink? Basically a snake with legs. I think you're going back to where I was referring to Brandon, who just showed up here, by the way, as Evelyn Warner. Like, is that a pseudonym? What is going on here, Brandon? Oh, never mind. Okay, I read that wrong. I thought that said, what up? It's Brandon. Evelyn, thank you for coming in and being a feminine presence in this chat that is filled with a bunch of obnoxious men. So thank you for coming in here, and it's good to see you on the live stream, because I don't think I've seen you in here before, I believe. But to go back to where I was before I got distracted. Oh, it is Brandon. God dang it, Brandon. Here I go thinking that we finally got a female to be in the live stream, and I was excited to finally have some diversity, and it turns out it's Brandon, probably cross-dressing. If I had to guess, he's sitting over there in some fishnets on the other end of the screen here with his snake hanging around his neck. It's just, tell us, Brandon, how accurate am I? But anyway, back to the original question. How do I feel about a skink? I'm going to revise my original statement that snake people are weird, and I'm gonna say reptile owners are weird, because we had some lady carrying around a bearded dragon on her giant boobs. She was fairly overweight, and she had a ginormous rack, and she had a bearded dragon walking around Walmart, and I'm like, why are you bringing, like, why? What is the purpose of having a bearded dragon on your chest? So yes, reptile owners in general are weird. So skinks, I would basically lump you together. So we now know that Bacon is also a weirdo. You know, you outed yourself, Bacon. You did it to yourself. We all thought you were pretty normal up until this moment. Excuse me, pardon me. Bubbly drink, guys. I apologize. Oh my gosh, it's already 8:15. Efix, what's happening, man? It's been a little bit. Haven't been able to join for a couple weeks. Oh, god dang it, Efix. You've always got a bunch of channels for me to check out, and I always forget one. I did check out R&R Buildings, which I think is one that you told me about. I have not checked out. Let me write it down. Peter, without an R, or without an E. Smotech. Okay, that's on my list for this week, Efix. I promise. I will check it out. Okay, I got it on my list. But I did check out R&R Builders, and I love it, to the point that I'm trying to get a hold of him because I have a really, really, really awesome project in mind. Yeah, I'll just say it because I don't think there's any reason I need to keep it a secret. I have a project that I am really thinking about undertaking, and it's going to take a lot of my time. I think it'll be ultimately worth it. I want to do the house that YouTube built. So I want to get a hold of R&R Builders is one of the ones I'm trying to get a hold of. I want to get some craftsmen, some tradesmen who actually are YouTube content creators. I want all of us to collectively get together and work on a house together. It's going to be funded by you guys, the subscribers. So what we would do is start a GoFundMe, and between all of our subscribers collectively, I bet we've easily got 1 million people. So it wouldn't take but $2 to $3 to $5 per person to pitch in, and we could pay for this house. And that way the contractors that are actually working on it and traveling and taking time away from their real jobs will get paid. So full disclosure, it would not be a full charity because we would be making contractor money, but at the same time it would be funded by you guys, and then we would actually approach the manufacturers, so Caterpillar, Komatsu, Milwaukee, DeWalt, all these different manufacturers, and have them pitch in tools and promote it. And then I would try to get a hold of YouTube and actually promote it, and we would build the house, with the end goal being to give it away to someone in the trades who was either seriously hurt and injured on the job and has on full disability for the rest of their life, or a family that perhaps the husband or the mom, if the mom was the one that worked, was killed in a trades related accident, and we would donate the house to that family. So that's kind of the idea that I've got cooking around right now, that I'm in the new year, when everything kind of slows down, I'm really going to hit the phones hard and see if I can't get a hold of some of these content creators. And I really want to go for content creators that are kind of in the same vein of my channel, where they are tradesmen that do a really good job at their craft, but they also teach. That's what I like so much about R&R Builders, is he teaches. He actually shows you the process. He's trying to pass the knowledge on. And that's what our videos would entail while we build this house, the house that YouTube built. It would be all of us talking about our crafts and our trades, what we do, and then at the end of the day, when this thing is all done, it would have an ultimate kind of finale video. And one of the things I'm really gonna, reiterate on this is this whole thing was made possible by the trades, and that way we get to really bless a family with a house that is totally debt free. They just get it. We hand them the keys, and it is their house. And then the other thing I want to do is drive more people into the trades, and this would be a great way in my mind to really shine some light on the trades, and make some headlines around the country, so that we get a big spotlight on the trades instead of, my channel, his channel, his channel. We can really get some international or national recognition. So That's the idea. We'll see what happens. And by the way, Efix, thank you for turning me on to his stuff, because I'm fairly confident it was you. Found 85%. Oh, let's see here. Oh, sorry, brain just shut down. Sorry. Found 85% of a skink on a lumber load. Caught him on my trailer, fed him until his tail grew back. Roommates named him, so now you have to keep him. Okay, well, that's a little better than actually going and purchasing a skink. I'll give you that. You're not quite as weird. But still, you've got a skink, so we'll see. We'll see. All right, I am way behind in the comments after that story. Let me see here. Where are we? Where are we? Jonathan, mostly do road work. Currently, you're searching for dump truck drivers, dozer, excavator, roller operators, workers, etc. They have a D5B in their current site, which is the new ones. My lord, I think I'm having a stroke. Which is the new ones start on. No, that sounds like a good company. I mean, you got a smattering of equipment there to work on, Jonathan. I think that sounds like a solid opportunity. Brandon got locked out of YouTube and Google for a while, probably because you were watching weird snake videos that got a little too sexual. Brandon, I told you, you can't do that anymore, man. You have to stop. Dennis, amen. Let's talk cat equipment. Let's talk, like, not gonna break down every 5 seconds equipment. Won't take long. Oh, Frank is popping off with some shots again. My lord, Frank, he came in with some sass tonight. Apparently, I don't know what kind of day Frank had, but he's got some fire in him. I like it. I like it. Forget cat, let's talk Volvo, Evelyn. Volvo is okay. You know, I haven't ran a Volvo. I'm still trying to get my ass in a Volvo, but no one will hook me up with a Volvo. I'm looking at you, Alta equipment. Hook me up with a Volvo. Come on, guys. We need to make an equipment list for our gold mining operation. You know, I've got so many irons in the fire right now. The gold rush operation really is not my priority right now, guys. So if you would like to start a Google Doc or a Google Sheet or an Excel spreadsheet with our equipment list, I will gladly monitor that list, maybe add a few of my own to it. I just don't have time to really delve down that road right now, because I just told you about another big project I might be taking on. We'll see what happens. Life goals: drive a track loader with pedal steering. Forget that. Go with the hydrostat. I don't know why we talked about this last night on the podcast with Albert. Why does anyone still consider the V pattern and foot pedals to be good? Like, that's like the guys that argue with me that it's still efficient to use the steering wheel shifter in a loader. No, it's not. It's not even an argument. It's not more efficient. It's less efficient. You have to take your hands off of things, so it's less efficient. My God, it's an easy argument. Anyway. Not that I have anything against V steering. Life goals: drive a track loader with pedal steering. Oh, I didn't realize you and Frank go back. That's pretty awesome, Albert. It is amazing to me how small of a world it is ultimately in the dirt world. And then Bacon, second goal: get good at it. I'm with you, man. I want to get good at running a track loader. Right now, my first goal is to just get into a track loader. Dark Side Ryan, I just like to get. Oh, Frank even swore. Ooh, Frank. So that Dozer project must not be going very well, because Frank's in here really laying down the law. I've got more done with a mini than a backhoe. I like seeing what I'm doing the way that I know I'm doing. That way I know I'm doing a bad job. Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're doing a bad job or not. Just be able to see and know that you're doing a bad job, and then everything's fine. I got more. Oh, sorry. My first track loader to operate was a Deere 455 with steering clutches. Oof. So you had the pull steering? Is that what you're saying? You had the pull steering clutches, and then you're also trying to operate, and you've also got your gear selector? That is a handful. Like, quite literally, that is a handful. All right. Here we go. So I've seen some people driving cars doing some crazy stuff, touring around instead of waiting 10 minutes because I'm stopping traffic. Yes, people are infuriating when it comes to construction. My favorite thing in the world, though, is when they do something so dumb that it ends up ruining their car. I've had multiple people bury their cars in fresh concrete. I've had someone where we had milled down a lane and we had actually changed the grade to what the new grade was going to be. while the existing road continued up. And this guy decided he was going to straddle it, because when it started out, you know, you're only talking a couple inches different. And he was on the wrong side of the road going into traffic, the wrong direction. And he went for it, not realizing what was happening. And before he knew it, all of a sudden it started to tip the car, and he bottomed out and totally high centered the car to the point they had to call a wrecker to get him off of it. And the way that they did it totally screwed his car up. It was amazing. Like, karma on that one was just beautiful. It was to date, one of my favorite days on the job. Absolutely. Ryan, a JCB skid steer backhoe drop on its roof at the road. Brian and I, yeah, exactly. That's what a JCB is fit for. So Ryan sent me one of those little skid steer backhoe combos the other day and said we need that for our mining operation. And I said, yes, we're going to need something to put out by the road so that we can mark our claim. So we'll just flip it and use it for a marker, and there you go. That's what JCB should be used for. Dozer Dennis, we put a straight pipe on your TD8 and it works. TD8 at work and it sounds good. Do you have a video up of that yet, Dennis? I'm trying to think if I've seen any of your recent stuff, and I don't think I have. And I can't remember it being a super throaty exhaust, so I'm curious about that. Let's see here. Fiance Evelyn Warren is Brandon on his fiance's account. 50-50. I don't know what you're referring to. Nice. Brian, have you checked the website, the people of Walmart? Yes, Jackson, I have seen the people of Walmart, and it is an honest look at the smattering of individuals within America. Yes. Soldier of Dirt. So Albert. Oh, Ryan, R&R Buildings. Thank you, Ryan, for R&R Buildings. Anyway, Albert, 963K, best size track loader. I just love the 973 because it's such a monster. Like, the 963, don't get me wrong, is probably a more versatile, easier to haul machine, like you and I had talked about. But the 973 is just a freaking beast. That thing is so massive. I love them. Love them. Come work on your house, Brandon. I would, but there's too many snakes, damn it. I'm not gonna come work on a house with snakes in it, because weirdos live there. And I don't want to have to see you come walking out in your fishnets and God knows what, trying to harass me in a sexual manner while I'm trying to work on your house. We can't have you scaring away all the tradesmen, Brandon. So, you know what? Calm down. Andrew, I'll do the bulkheads and the retaining walls, you know. We'll see, guys. Who knows where this goes? First dozer I ran was a TD14A IH. No till blade makes a guy appreciate the new stuff. Dude, that old stuff, like the old cable driven like dozers and stuff, it just amazes me what guys were able to do with that old equipment, with how little it could do and how not versatile it was. Might have to make an ICF basement and get Dirt Perfect involved. That's true. That's true. Although I plan on doing the dirt work, so I don't know about bringing in 14 different dirt contractors. We'll see what happens. Backhoes rule, minis drool, prove me wrong. Dang it, Frank. We're gonna make it happen. I know I keep talking about it. Nothing's happened to this point. But one day, it's gonna happen. And I don't want to hurt your feelings when I leave you in my dust. I mean, all I'm gonna say is you better wear some safety glasses and a dust mask. That's where I'm at, because you're gonna be eating dust. Because I'm gonna be so far ahead of you in that mini, and then to rub salt in the wound, I'm gonna park that little mini excavator up against your big backhoe, just so that we can truly, for once and for all, prove that size doesn't matter. Because I've been trying to prove that my whole life. Frank, I feel like you've been outdone by mini lately, and yeah, that's it. You're on to something there, Ryan. He's got a chip on his shoulder. That's what it is. Turner likes the foot pattern. Okay, all right. He likes it. Albert was one of the first good friends on YouTube. Oh, so you guys do go way back. I didn't realize. I guess I had never put together how long either one of you guys had been on YouTube. But I was telling Albert, he was one of the first guys I was watching when I just got into the industry. So he was one of my inspirations into making the leap over into construction. So Super cool stuff. Evelyn Warren, I take it back. Volvo makes a great loader. Oh, okay, Dennis is shooting for the loader, and I've heard lots of good things about their loaders. I just have yet to run one. God Family Country. Is it Tom? I think it's Tom. Thanks for hanging out, man. I appreciate it. Oh, it is Tom. He says it in the end. I remembered. I want full credit on that one because I did not read Tom out until after the fact that I had guessed his name was Tom. So I want full credit for remembering your name was Tom. Thanks for hanging out, Tom. We'll see you on the next one. Cannot argue with the power of the 973. They're definitely beasts. Yes, and the fact that it takes like 3 scoops to load a full semi, like they're just absolute monsters. Love it. Love it. How many years have you been in business? Is that directed at me, Frank, or is that who is that directed at? Is that directed? Ooh, is that directed at me? Are we doubling down here? So I've been in the business. I'll take it as it was aimed at me, and I've been in the business for a little over 10 years. So I can say you're gonna get schooled by a youngster. It's gonna be a good time. I don't even care how it ends at this point. The buildup has just been so fun. I think it's just gonna be fun to get out there and give each other crap. Not to mention, if we do this whole event where everyone's involved, you know there's gonna be a lot of rooting and there's a lot of screaming from the sidelines. It's gonna be a good time. Pittsburgh Kid, I don't think I've ever seen you in here before. Thanks for hanging out on the live stream, brother. Just took a 4-week course on heavy equipment operating. Do you have any tips to find a job? Literally go put in an application anywhere. Everybody's hiring right now. Nobody can find good operators. Just, recognize, this is what I tell everybody who's been through any sort of a school is, go into it with an attitude of being humble, because at the end of the day, you've taken a 4-week course in a business where you can work a lifetime and you're still learning something every day. So all that to say, you have not even begun to scratch the surface on knowledge in this industry. And please don't take this as me saying that you're this arrogant, cocky, young jackass. I'm not. But at the same time, I do want to kind of give you a very eyes wide open idea of what to expect, which is you're still probably going to start at the bottom of the food chain. And so be willing to do that. Honestly and openly tell them that you are willing to do that. And honestly, you're not going to have a hard time finding a job. And if you do, jump a state over and you will have no problem finding a job. So yeah, just start applying and you will be shocked. Now I will say, because you're in Pittsburgh, I'm assuming because you're the Pittsburgh Kid, makes sense, right? If you're in the north, now is not going to be a good time to apply. You can. It's not going to hurt anything, but at the same time, most companies are laying off right now. They're not actively hiring because we go into the slow season for the winter. But at the same time, throw some resumes out there and see what happens. Excuse me, pardon me. Whew, that was too much bubbly drink. Honestly, you could be surprised. Every once in a while, you hit someone just at the right time where they were hired an extra operator to dig basements through the winter, or they need another loader operator over the winter so you can get your feet wet, in a loader. Absolutely don't rule out applying now, but at the same time, don't get discouraged and don't get disappointed if you don't get hired tomorrow as we go into the winter time. So Jake, introduced myself, was a welder, Fabby, for the last 10 years in manufacturing, decided to take the plunge last year. Love it, still weld equipment at the bigger company I'm at now. I mean, it's good to have you on this side of the business, Jake. We need more operators, we need more people in construction. So in manufacturing, like, I'm not gonna dog on manufacturing, but man, that would suck being stuck inside. Like, we all got into this industry because we like being outside, so that's got to be a good change of pace. Frank, me too. I'm right there with you. That's why this is this whole what's going on in the comments. I love it. I love it that we can all give each other crap. No one's getting their feelings hurt. No one's taking it personal. And then you got Brandon in the corner again, wearing whatever attire he's wearing currently, and it is what it is. There's all of us giving each other crap, and then there's Brandon over there with his snake being a weirdo. Again, I'm kidding, Brandon. I'm kidding. But you are a weirdo. You're a laborer, by the way. Hey, you know what? Laborers are welcome here. We're all in this together. So nothing wrong with being a laborer whatsoever. Ambitious. What's happening? Good to see you, man. Where did you go? Newcastle or PIA Jumpstart? I'm here in Pittsburgh, also a current operator. Oh, look at there. You already got a connection in the business. Don't ever say Diesel and Iron didn't do anything for you, because without any effort whatsoever on my part, I have hooked you up. Oh, Frank, prepare to be humbled by an old backhoe guy. We'll see. We'll see. I just don't get too cocky, Frank. That's what I'm saying. You know, I will hand it to you that you are at the top. But that just means it's that much further to fall when I knock you off that high horse you're sitting on. And you know what the perfect thing about this whole setting is I can make those comments and it's going to be like 30 seconds before you have time to respond. So for 30 seconds, I get to feel like I'm champion here and I have come out of this ahead until you take that time to actually think of a response, because you're not on camera, and then you can zing me with something. So if only they would. Here they don't have a choice, however. Wait, what is that in reference to? I would say I don't know what you're talking about, Ryan. I'm sorry, my brain is like tired of trying tonight. So Frank, cut my teeth on a backhoe, 555. There's always a place in my heart for the backhoe. You know, as much as we rag on backhoes, I've talked about it before. The only reason I hate backhoes so much is because I spent an entire season bouncing around one on a super long job, and I just feel like there's more efficient tools to do the job. But backhoes are more versatile because they've got the front bucket and you've got the rear bucket. In fact, that's where Frank shines. He really shows the versatility of the backhoe. But I'm not a fan of them. After spending that year bouncing around on one, I'm just not a fan. Let's see here. Ryan, Brandon's going to show up to Texas with the snake and a pink thong, calling it now. That's kind of what I'm feeling. That's like, that wouldn't shock me. I think we talked about it last week on the live stream. I feel like all of us are going to be standing around in our work boots and our jeans. We're talking about the industry, and then, you know, everyone's just going to collectively look over, and strutting out of the building is going to be Brandon wearing, you know, maybe it is a pink thong, maybe it's some, you know, BDSM like leather outfit and a ball gag, and no one's really going to say anything other than, oh, Brandon's here. And, you know, everyone just expects it, I think, is really the summary of how that situation would go. So, Amber, pain in the ass, jumpstart, best in my class. Oh, is it PETA jumpstart? It's not pain in the ass. Maybe it is pain in the ass jumpstart. Best in my class, and the instructor Chris said I should be a Dozer guy. I'm decent at grading. It's always awesome if you can pick up the Dozer quickly. Oh, check that out. You found me through Carson. That's awesome. Carson's a solid guy. I like Carson so much. But yeah, if you can pick up the Dozer quick, you've really, like, that's setting yourself apart in this industry. Dozer is one of the harder machines to learn, and so if you got that kind of a compliment from your instructor, you know, obviously, like I said, don't go get arrogant, but at the same time, know that you've got some real talent, some natural talent. So that's awesome. Congratulations on that. That's a high compliment. Frank, remember, I've tried minis. They lack some ass. See, again, Frank, my rebuttal to that is it's not about the size, it's how you use it. It's a well-rehearsed line in my life because I've had to use it my entire life. But no, it's I understand what you're saying. It is nice to have the big machine sometimes, but the reason minis stick out to me so much in my mind is because of how quickly you can spin 180 degrees from the hole. They generally, a smaller machine footprint wise, will have the same reach and the same breakout force as the big old backhoe. And the bigger thing is from a visibility standpoint. I hate the fact that the boom is right there in the middle. It's always in the way of your vision, and you always have to pick up outriggers and fool around with those, and I way prefer running the mini. So Oh, not sure I can hang with this crowd. I have some standards. Pink thumb. Well, we all have standards, Frank. That's the thing, is like no one's joining the pink thong train. Don't get us wrong. No one in here is joining the pink thong train. We've just hung around Brandon long enough in the comments that we just know the kind of guy Brandon is. And, you know, it just wouldn't be shocking, I guess, is where we're going, if Brandon walked out in a pink thong. It would just be like, well, you know, I wouldn't have expected anything less of Brandon. Let's see here. Yes, Jackson Carson is great. Pittsburgh kid, went there a couple years ago. Chris is a good instructor. If you don't mind, what's your name? I'm part of Pittsburgh. You from? Well, look at that. We're just making connections in here. You guys make me damn proud. I love it. Which, by the way, guys, 15 minutes. We're gonna wrap this up in about 15 minutes. We're going a little early tonight, but I'm tired, as you guys have heard. My brain is absolutely in sleep mode. So 15 minutes. Let's see here. You know, you want to, yeah, ooh, maybe that should be the challenge, Frank. How manly are you? Maybe the challenge is whoever loses the dig off has to wear a pink thong the next day. Uncomfortable? Yes. Both emotionally and physically. But that does raise the stakes in this dig off a bit. I don't know. I'm not going to do that to you. I won't do that to you. I won't do that to myself, now that I think about it. Yeah, we'll just work for a trophy or something. I'm not going and buying a pink thong. Nope. Is the Dozer harder to master than the Excavator? Yes. They're different. So an Excavator is, you can get the motions down rather quickly. I would say if you threw someone that was green on an Excavator, within a day or two, they'd be proficient enough that they can dig a hole, they can dig a trench. Where you get into the challenge with Excavators is those are very technical machines. You're generally doing stuff where you've got laborers right beside it. You're using it to throw pipe around, so you've got to have a lot of finesse on the controls. Learning how to, you know, read a bank, whether or not you're safe to be sitting on the bank while you're digging below yourself. Like, there's so many different aspects of an excavator that from a technical standpoint, it is a very challenging machine. But when it comes to just operating the machine, I wouldn't say it's the harder machine on the job. The Dozer, on the other hand, is a very hard machine to operate because so much of your skills and ability come from your ass level, and I talk about that all the time on this channel. You have to be able to feel grade. So whether you're level or you're starting to pitch one way or the other, like, that's very, very subtle adjustments that are made in the seat, and you've got to be able to feel that. And it just, for most people, that just comes with a lot of time. And then learning how to translate what you feel in your ass to movements in your hands so that you keep a nice level grade, or you start to pitch the way that you want to. Like, Dozers are just a very difficult machine to operate. And then once you get the operation of them from a technical standpoint, there's not much technicality to it. I mean, you can get into like slot dozing techniques and stuff like that where you can get a little technical, but at the end of the day, you're still just pushing material and trying to do it as efficiently as possible. So in a way, yes, the Dozer is a more difficult machine to learn than the Excavator. But the Excavator is just difficult in a different way, if all of that makes sense. I know it feels like I'm riding the fence right there, but they're just, once you are in the industry for a while, you'll begin to understand they're just vastly different machines, and you know, it is what it is. Oh, Andrew, yes, Excavator is baby shit. Oh, well, there you go. Andrew says it right how it is. And he hates running the Dozer. Clearly, Andrew is not a fan of the Dozer and probably isn't the most fantastic Dozer operator, and he fesses right up to it. I ran a Bobcat 323 for 45 minutes and the boom is in the middle. I hated every moment of it. I hate leaning over constantly. Yeah, exactly. Soldier Dirt, or Albert as we affectionately know him, Jonathan, depends on who you ask. Both machines have vast amounts of applications for mass excavating up to... Yep, absolutely. Hey, Rashad, what's going on, my man? Thanks for hanging out. Let's see here. There's a back and forth with Pittsburgh kid. Sean. Hey, Sean, what's happening? Good to see you. They each got their spot that works best for them. And then digging okay. So Frank, he is not worried about the ping thong. We'll see. We'll see. You should switch machines, Brian, and the backhoe for the dig off. Now that's a thought. Is we can do our dig off and then we switch machines and do a dig off, and then we can make it even more interesting. We can switch control patterns and do the dig off. I think that's where we could really take this to the next level. Is we have to dig in the opposite pattern that we typically run, and that way we both look like it's our first day. Yes. So yeah, we can make this fun for sure. 1150 Dozer and 850 hands down, tons of power. I love the 1150. That's a solid machine. I really like the 1150. I do a dig off with me in the hoe for half, mini the other half. I can dig in either machine. So Frank, yep, Frank is down for the dig off and switching. This is going to be fun. I'm starting to genuinely get excited about this because I think we can have a good time with it. Ooh, Dozer Dennis, shots fired at the 1150. He's not a fan. Okay, all right. To each his own. To each his own. But I'm just saying you're wrong. Maybe, but yes. The 1150 is a great machine, Dozer. You hurt, Dennis. You hurt my feelings. Damn it. Andrew, an excavator is just an extension of your arms. Dozer is like artwork. Yeah, that's a really good example. Absolutely. Once you really learn an excavator, it is kind of an extension of your arm. Again, it's just the technical aspects of it, and it's not so much the technical aspect of making the machine move. Like I said, that just becomes, and like Andrew said, it's just, you don't even think about it anymore. I've said this on the live stream before. You know, when I pick up this cup, I don't think, okay, I need to move my arm out and over, and then I need to go out and I need to let go. You know, it's just a natural movement, and that's the way the excavator becomes. You don't think about what you need to do, you're just doing it. Where it's technical is, what angle and force are you going to apply to this trench box to get it to fall down in the trench the right way? Or how am I going to nudge on this bank to get it to cave where I want it to without undermining this area over here? So it's technical from the standpoint of how you're manipulating the materials on the job site. It's just a totally different machine than the Dozer. You can't really compare the two. Shane, what's happening? We were asking about you like way early on in the stream. It's good to see you, man. Oh, he's working on videos. Yeah, you've got some good videos coming out, Shane, which if you guys haven't caught his latest videos, like he just did one where it was, what, 120 foot of sewer main you were dropping in the hole? That was a pretty slick video. Ambitious, back and forth. Ryan, 3 rounds in the dig off. Might have to make a pay-per-view live stream for that. There you go. There you go. And Sean's definitely switched the controls. Did someone say dig off? Yes. Shane, Frank and I have been talking about doing a dig off for a year now. Yeah, probably a solid year. So he is a backhoe man, I am an excavator man, and so we want to pit a mini against his backhoe. But then we're talking about also we would do the dig off with me and the mini, him and the backhoe, then we would switch machines. And then for the final dig off, we would switch back to our normal machine, but then we would switch control patterns so that we would both fumble and it would be terrible. I think it will be a good time. It will be a good time. Haven't been in a backhoe good man. So, you know, maybe that's where, maybe this turns into Frank and I go at it in our dig off, but then it becomes a competition where everyone has to do the same dig, and we put some criteria on it, and it turns into a time thing, or I don't know how we do that, to where it isn't just a group of guys standing around for half a day while everyone gives it a shot. We'll have to see how that works. Or maybe we just do it all individually, but that's not as fun. If we do it all individually and video it and clip it together, that's not as fun as doing it in person. I feel like this has to happen in person to have its impact. Let's see here. What are you guys going to do for a dig off anyway? You're just going to dig a giant hole? No, I think it'll be more technical than that, Jackson. My thought is kind of what Frank does for a living, where we would dig some footers. So we would, you know, dig 10 foot this direction and then come over and dig 5 foot another direction and then dig a 4x4 hole or a 5x5 hole or whatever. It's something where it's a little technical. That way it's not just digging a straight line or dig deep. Like there's a technical aspect to it, so that, because part of the dig off too is how clean the hole is, because that's what everyone respects Frank so much for, is it's not just that he does good work, it's really, really clean digs. So I think that's what we'd have to do for the dig off, is make it technical so that you're really showcasing the skill of the operator. And by that I mean we're going to showcase Frank's skill, and I'm going to have a giant disaster on my hands, and then I'm going to wear a pink thong. So oh, Andrew's all about the big holes. So it seems that Andrew might be filling in for Brandon while he's away. So Dozer Dennis, 700 John Deere is my favorite dozer unless there's a cat on the job. Ooh, I don't know. Komatsu makes a solid dozer. Don't rule Komatsu out. Those Komatsu dozers push. Let's see here. That's a good point. What exactly are we going to dig in the dig off? I just answered that, damn it, Ryan. Come on now. Keep up. Oh, Frank says he might end up in the thong if we switch patterns. Okay. This is getting more interesting. We're up in the ante. Haven't had much time to edit, had an emergency job before the rain. Hey, that's the beauty of YouTube, man, is trying to find time to edit, which is why all of my stuff is like 4 weeks in advance in a queue, is so that I have all of these jobs come through and I'm not struggling to keep up on the editing. So, and by the way, if you want to pay someone for editing, I have an editor that could use some more work if you're interested. Excuse me, rude. That was rude, so rude. Ryan, now we have to make this happen. Oh, it's gonna happen, Ryan. It's just a matter of time. Frank, it's just oh, it's not talk now, Frank. It's on. Oh, it's on. Oof. Do you watch Andrew? Andrew comes up on this live stream probably once every 3 or 4 weeks. I've always tried to be polite here. I don't know the guy. His stuff isn't really my cup of tea, but I will say I've watched multiple videos of his where I cringe at the level of you're going to kill yourself. One of them, he was trying to, let's see here if I remember right, he had his dump truck running with the gas pedal. So I think no, I take that back. He had it in gear, and it was one of the dump trucks that actually had a hand throttle. And so he had the dump truck running without him driving it, because it was attached to another piece of equipment that he was then running back to get on in time that he could, I can't remember if he was trying to get it unstuck or what he was trying to do. And the whole time I'm watching this and I'm like, this is how people die all the time, and this guy's filming it. So there was another one where he's trying to yank something off a dozer. I can't remember what he was trying to do in that one, and he is just, my God, I'm not his biggest fan. I'll just say that. I think he does a lot of things in ways that I would absolutely never think of doing them, because they're either A, dangerous, or 2, you're just going to destroy your equipment. So that's my thoughts there. Dave, g'day. I'm assuming you're from Australia. Yes, you are. I just read further down in your comment. So, g'day, mate. Any chance of talking iDig and adding the machine control valve to your excavator? We don't seem to have much info in Australia about. So, here's the deal, Dave. First of all, thanks for hanging out on the live stream. I appreciate you hanging out. So, iDig, I don't believe will ever add the valve in, because they are not trying to compete with the guys who actually have the machine control valve, because once you step up into the valving, you're in that weight class where you're going to pay $30,000 for a 2D system, and where iDig is competing in this space for smaller contractors, where you can get into this system for half of the price, you still get a very accurate indicate only system. And it's also, you can switch it to any machine you've got in your fleet as far as excavators go. So I don't have to go equip all of these different machines at $15,000 a pop with this valve to give me overdig protection. Instead, it's for 15 grand, I can get into this equipment that I can then plop out of my machine and take it down the road to this other machine, and boom, I'm live and ready to go. And it just occurs to me, no, never mind. I take that back. I was going to say, I wonder if you could adapt it to go on a backhoe, but I don't think you would be able to because of the way one of the sensors works. So never mind. But anyway, all that to say, I don't think they have any intention of crossing the line to where, you know, maybe way down the road, but right now they are not going to, their goal is not to compete with any of the big ones. So Trimble, Topcon, and Leica. Which, by the way, if you are looking for a machine control that actually has overdig protection, Trimble, Topcon, and Leica, all three have that option, but it's going to set you back 30 grand. So that's kind of why I think they'll continue to play in the space that they have and they've carved out, and they're not going to move into, you know, that next tier where they're competing with the big dogs. But great question. Ooh, Ryan, shots fired. He's a hack. That's one way of putting it. That's one way of putting it. I'm not going to say that because I'm not going to say that, but. So Sean wants a turn in the dig off. We got to figure that out. We may have this ongoing dig off that someone's got to stand and judge. We'll see. Andrew also does not want to talk about Andrew. Yes, there you go. So high opinions of Andrew Camerata, I'm seeing. Yes. Let's see here. I do like the 51 Hell, I love them all. Sorry, brain crapped out again, Dozer Dennis, but I get what you're talking about. You're talking about the Komatsu. Yes, I'm with you. Andrew's an excellent YouTuber. Everyone loves a train wreck. As for practical work, he should not be allowed on a commercial job site. Very entertaining, though. That's a great summary right there. When it comes to actual operator ability, actual production, anything that all of us in the trades pride ourselves on, he's not the guy to learn from. But if you, he's a train wreck. If you want to watch someone who inevitably will film himself killing himself, he's the guy, which is why his YouTube channel has God knows how many subscribers, which just angers me because here we, you know, the guys in the chat here put out really quality content and really quality operating. None of us are even in the realm of Andrew with his disaster channel. But, you know, that's what appeals to people. They want to see the video where he finally runs his leg over with a dozer. It'll happen one day. It's just a matter of time. Okay, good. I'm not the only one who thinks he does some crazy stuff. No, not at all. Not at all. He is not a, not sound like a gatekeeper, but he is not a true operator. He's a dingling that's out there playing. Andrew, D4G rebuild is a must watch. If you ever feel down on yourself, makes me feel like a genius watching it. Yeah. Put your email in the comments. Wait, whose email are you looking for, Dozer Dennis? I'm trying to figure out who you're referring to. Let me know whose email you're looking for. Train wreck is the perfect analogy. Yep, exactly. Can't wait to see a small machine control company start as an affordable. I'm telling you guys, that iDig system is so valuable. I actually have been in talks with the guy who installed it for us, Kevin Morrissey. He represents iDig for the entire eastern half of the US, and there's a decent chance that they will be donating a system to Rick and I so that we can showcase it going forward. We're still in talks. But if that's the case, I'm actually going to be doing some basement digs with that iDig system where you guys get to actually see it in full swing now that I fully understand the system. And I cannot tell you how that system is so freaking valuable. It is so valuable. Awesome deal. Andrew's container house is pretty cool. Otherwise, meh. I have not seen the container house. I didn't realize he had one. Yes, Frank, YouTube is a very weird place because while you can watch our videos, You can also find videos of people probably pooping in boxes and then sniffing it. Like, that's just the weird wormholes you can go down on YouTube. Like, there's just weird stuff out there. And what's really depressing is the guy pooping in the box and smelling it probably has more views and more subscribers than I do with the amount of work and effort that I put into my videos. That's the depressing part of YouTube. So ultimately, this may devolve into me having Brandon over and we poop in boxes and smell it. Whatever it takes to make a buck, right? I'm just kidding. Not gonna happen. Let's see here. He hit 1 million last. Oh, that's depressing. Why'd you have to say that? 1 million viewers. That's crazy. That's crazy. But I do appreciate that you're gonna binge watch my channel. I do appreciate that. I really appreciate all of you guys for subscribing and watching. Jackson, I don't even think it's clickbait. It's just, it's like watching someone who, well, it's like the classic video. I'll give you a perfect analogy of Andrew. It's the classic video that you see of someone who's going to deep fry their first turkey and they have no idea that they should thaw it first. And you know what's going to happen. It's just a matter of time before the turkey goes into the deep fryer, and you're watching because it would be ridiculous to turn it off. You have to see how bad it's going to be. That's Andrew's channel. He's deep frying a turkey that hasn't thawed. That's his whole channel. Yes, Albert, I would absolutely encourage you to fire up YouTube. It's going to be long, slow road to grow, but income is absolutely there. Let's see here. My email, thatdiggerdude@smalldick.com. Nailed it, Andrew. Nailed it. It's actually thatdiggerdude as, well, let's see here. That digger dude at it's not about the size.com. Suck on that, Andrew. Just kidding. All right, there's my real email address, thatdiggerdude@gmail.com. It will also scroll right down here. Oh, look at that. It's scrolling as I point to it. Right here. There you go. And you can find me on Instagram. You can shoot me a message on there. It all works. Oh my gosh, it's 9 o'clock, ladies and gentlemen. Someone draw a line. Someone draw a line. We're getting out of here. Ryan, the depths of YouTube is frightening. There's some really dark places to be adventured. There are. So like there's the funny depths of YouTube that's a little dark. And then there's the terrifying depths of YouTube. And I try not to go too far down those wormholes because it really is terrifying, some of the people that are out there in this world. And it's also terrifying what YouTube allows to be put on YouTube. Like, it's borderline, it's some crazy stuff. So we're putting the line in, guys. If you're not familiar, the line is what I'm going to, and then we're shutting this baby down. So I'm gonna before I get to the line, I'm gonna thank you all for listening and following along. It's been a good night. I genuinely have enjoyed this evening. This has been fun. YouTube is a $2 whore on $1 a day. Shane, yes, it's anal golf. What is going on up here? I just looked at Andrew's comment. What is anal golf? I don't want to know. I take it back. Pretend I didn't even ask. I don't want to know. Yes, Shane, YouTube is a fickle woman. So prime example, my subscribers have been going up, my views have been going up, and yet my monetary income has stayed flat for like the last 2 months. Explain that to me, how that is possible. And then all of a sudden my subscribers, it's not my overall subscriber count, it's how many subscribers I'm gaining over the last week has started to decline. My income has started to decline, and my views have started to decline, even though more people are sitting at home and more people are watching videos, which again, I can't understand. And then YouTube will randomly decide to just promote the shit out of one of your videos. You explode, and it lasts for like 4 weeks, and then all of a sudden it stops promoting that video like it was. I don't get it. I don't understand it, but we are continuing to grow right around 1,000 subscribers a month right now. It is what it is. You know, we'll just keep riding the roller coaster here. But anyway, just eat an unsafe amount of spicy ramen on live stream, maybe a live octopus or two, the views will come. That's it. Yes. Or I can just start tearing up equipment like Andrew does on his channel, and apparently the views will roll in too. It is what it is. Pittsburgh, I have been an operator for about 12 years now. So I started over on the residential side doing basements and finish grades. Then I moved into heavy civil and did that for 5.5 years, I believe. I've sold equipment for 2.5 years. I take that back. Before I did residential, I started in heavy civil down in Texas, but I was just running rock trucks. And then I've been working with buddies for the last 2 years. So I'm gonna look this guy up. I have to take a break from it once in a while though. It is a grind. When you become a content creator, it does become a grind to an extent. You have to. That's the other reason I like having a queue of videos. So the way I do it is I get my videos about a month and a half out. And then that gives me the freedom to kind of put it down for a little bit and take a little bit of a break for 3 or 4 weeks. And then I can pick it back up and it kind of keeps it fresh. So any content creator will tell you everyone's got their own method of kind of dealing with it and kind of working through that and pushing through that. But everyone gets tired eventually of just churning out content consistently. So we also need to get basement digging from you. I know from talking with you a while back, you do it differently from dirt. Perfect. Let's dig. Like to see how you do it. Stay tuned, Ryan. If we do end up getting this job, there's a good chance I'll be digging a basement here within the next probably 3 to 4 weeks. In fact, part of the reason we're wrapping up, well, obviously it's time now, but I was going to wrap up early, is I am meeting that builder at like 8:30 tomorrow morning. So Rick and I have to leave here at 7:30 in the morning to go meet that builder for this basement dig, and it's like a 3,500 square foot basement. It's going to be a good sized basement. We actually used a piece of software called Kubla Cubed, Kubla, and then cubed, to calculate how much material was going to be hauled off site. That's actually going to be a down and dirty I do here pretty soon, because that's a slick piece of software. But tomorrow we get to go run our numbers with the builder, and if we get it, it'll be probably in the next 3 or 4 weeks. So stay tuned on that one. So I think that's kind of our line, guys. Rasha, I'm sorry. Yes, I did head down south. I didn't film anything other than the rock saw video, which is posted already. So with that being said, I'm at the line. You guys have a great night. Thank you again. And we will catch you guys. We will be live next week. And then after that, we're going to take a 2-week break for Christmas and New Year's, and we'll pick it up on the backside of New Year's. So with that being said, you guys have a great evening, and we'll catch you next weekend on the live stream. See you guys.